Hey guys, today we're gonna have a special part two of five reflection of our top five favorite book, The Happiness Hypothesis. And this is actually part two of five from many days or weeks ago about and so hopefully you remember what we're talking about in the first.
Well, yeah, I don't remember what the first. I feel like one of them is definitely going to be an elephant and a rider,
I
and I
think
know.
it was like Elephant Whisperer is the first one.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I want to be an elephant whisperer. That's
Yep.
exactly what it was. So this one is just a quick reminder of the book. It's called The Happiness Hypothesis. It's written by the author Jonathon Haidt, and its subtitle is Finding Modern Truth in Ancient Wisdom. So he's exploring like 10 different concepts around, happiness and great ideas, and he's kind of weaving his way through history as to how humans have found his potential ways that humans find happiness and in general. And then at the end of it, he concludes with his happiness hypothesis, which is the name of the book. Great book, loved it, learned a ton. It was very informative on the early stages of this whole journey. I feel like it's one of the books we've always done on the core values quest. It's the book that my team is reading this month for Club and Light program. I'm excited to get all their thoughts in the next couple of days as we have our book club.
Well,
But
yeah, when you can start with a book club, and then whenever they can go on their own, then you can do an anti-book club after that. Because you need to
well,
guide them first so they know
yeah,
how to swim before you let them loose.
they're already ready to go swim on their own. They read all their own books all the time. I just like to do one book a month with them still because this is 6 months in now, and they're definitely all
Well,
speaking
like
the right language.
typically, me and you don't do a book club, but this podcast is essentially a book club because we talk
Yeah,
about
it is.
the lessons we learn and the ideas we want to kind of
It,
discuss further and explore more.
but it's an anti-book club. We're not talking about the book. Like we're talking about what the book made us think about and learn our own self, and then we're elaborating on those concepts. So it's more of an anti-book club, but it's semantics. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so on to reflection 2 of 5 for the happiness hypothesis. This one is about inconspicuous versus conspicuous consumption. That was the book, The Elephant Whisperer, that we did a couple books ago. Not that wasn't a title of a reflection.
Oh, okay.
So this one is about, and what I learned. Do you remember this section of the book when he talks about inconspicuous versus conspicuous consumption by any chance?
No.
Okay, so I don't know why this stood out to me. And the concept of inconspicuous consumption just like stuck in my head for whatever reason. I couldn't get it out. And I was like, huh, that's really interesting. So let me explain really fast what conspicuous versus inconspicuous consumption is. So conspicuous consumption is spending of money on acquiring luxury commodities, goods, or services, specifically as a public display of economic power. Meaning, I buy shit so everybody knows that I'm rich, right? I buy the Rolls Royce, I buy the yacht, I buy the Armani suits, the Tom Fords, or whatever, and I make sure everybody knows I'm wearing a Tom Ford. I'm not just wearing a T-shirt. I'm wearing a Tom Ford T-shirt that was $500. I gotta have really nice $1,000 Air Jordans on or whatever that everybody needs to see, kind of thing. Like that's conspicuous consumption, where you want people to see what you are buying to flaunt your wealth, I guess, and your economic power. But think back to the 80s of Gordon Gekko on Wall Street saying greed is good, or Robin Leach in the champagne wishes and caviar dreams with lifestyles of the rich and famous, and the shows like Dallas and Dynasty, these really, really rich families that just, or hell, even today with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or whatever city that they're in, these people are just all about conspicuous consumption, right? So does that make sense what conspicuous consumption is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now inconspicuous consumption, that was a concept that I was like, that's really interesting. That's when you are, consuming things for yourself and only for yourself, right? Meaning I just consumed, $500 to go do my private yoga classes or whatever, or go to the floating place when I just go float to meditate or whatever, or I traveled to India on a Buddhist, spiritual retreat or something like that, right? Or I go play tennis, like these are things that nobody sees me consume other than maybe the intermediate people around me. But like I'm consuming these things. I'm willing to spend money so I can consume stuff that I care about, right? Like that's inconspicuous consumption. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that concept started to make me think a lot. And I think you probably know where I'm going with this, hopefully. You probably know me well enough to know where this is leading to. This is a long time ago when I first learned about inconspicuous consumption. I was like, that's really interesting, because a lot of the stuff that we've been doing this whole entire journey, what we do every day, what you and I are doing right now is inconspicuous consumption. We spend money on books and on stupid little things that we want to try to do, on, trying out core values quest stuff. I mean, hell, we paid Blake, $4,500 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent $4,500 on an experiment, just to see if we could help somebody become a better human being. This stuff feeds our soul, really what it's doing. However, my mind went in a different way with this one when I was writing this reflection, because I started to think about, like, back before social media existed, inconspicuous consumption was truly inconspicuous. Only a very few amount of people saw what you were doing. You might have known those weird people that went on hiking trips to Teton National Park all the time or something like that, and they would be gone for a week and a half, and they'd come back and they'd be like, oh yeah, I was rock climbing in Yosemite National Park or whatever. Well, now with fucking social media, inconspicuous consumption has now almost become conspicuous consumption, because every single damn day, they're like, oh, eating brunch with my homegirls, I got to take all my photos and let everybody know that I'm eating brunch. Or, oh, we're going to the strawberry patch and taking the kids out to go pick strawberries. Like, I got to show everybody what I'm doing and how cool I am to go take my kids to the strawberry patch. Or I'm going to my yoga class every single day and I got to tell everybody. Or I'm wearing my new yoga gear because this is what I really care about in my fitness journey, or something like that, right? Like, so in a weird way, social media has actually made inconspicuous consumption kind of conspicuous now. And it's kind of interesting, the turn of events, because this book was actually written before social media kind of rose to power. Now, where I was thinking about this is we take back what conspicuous, or the power of inconspicuous consumption, and this is how I propose that people do it. So instead of taking photos of you living your values, which is really what inconspicuous consumption is, and sharing that with the world, inconspicuous consumption, I say you just do it, and then you share your art with the world of what that inconspicuous consumption creates. Because nobody gives a shit if you're going to yoga class every single day. Nobody gives a shit if you and I read 30 books this month. Like, nobody cares, right? But we like to tell everybody, oh, I read 30 books this month. I'm gonna go on LinkedIn and make sure everybody knows that I read 30 books this month. You know what I mean? What you can do, though, is live your values every single day, and then produce that, let that produce art, right? And whatever the natural byproduct of living your values and inconspicuous consumption will ultimately produce a byproduct. That I'm okay with sharing with the world. We should stop sharing our inconspicuous consumption with the world until there's a byproduct to share. That's kind of my reflection for this particular one. Does all that make sense? Did I weave that one in?
Okay. It does. Is that it?
That's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
What's the question?
How do you share your inconspicuous consumption with the world, focusing on what you do or what you produce?
Okay. Well, I think social media is an outlet for conspicuous consumption. If you post on social media, you're not doing it for yourself. I'm sorry. You just
if you're leaving your spin class that you went there with your goat yoga class,
I don't care. I don't care.
That's fair. I agree. I mean, if you post it on social
because the
media,
thing is, this is the thing. I do what I do. I don't tell you. If you want to know for your own benefit, I will share. I don't volunteer any information to anyone.
Yeah.
If you want me to give you my 2 cents, you can ask and I'll share. I will not hold information back, but I won't go out there and volunteer information, even for the books I read. You ask me, what book are you reading? And I'll tell you. I'll read this book. You can share among your families because you have an interest in them. You want to give them that benefit. And once you build a relationship, that's fine. But to be on social media for some stranger to look at you or whatever, you're just keeping up with the Joneses. Right. This is the historically the human drive for social status. And if you had to do any conspicuous consumption, which most people are, it means to me, in a way, you are trying to compensate. If I say, Chris, to be honest, because that means that you may think I'm not honest, right? If I'm honest, I don't have to say it. Hey, I'm kind of pretty well off. But I'm not, because that's why I say it, to compensate. If you had to go and show people that you have a good life, your life is better or whatever, right? It means that your life isn't, and you want to get there. It's a target for you, and a target for everybody. And the thing is, the more you do this, the more you stray away from your true self. Agreed. When you're doing your true self, like I say, if I'm doing something, right? If let's say for you and me, let's say for you play tennis, regardless of somebody knows that you play tennis or not, you still go to play tennis. Right? Right? It's inconspicuous consumption. It doesn't change what you want to do. It doesn't change what you are doing. Right. Right. nothing comes in. Let's say we do this podcast and somebody say, hey, we can make money from it. We can put it on a podcast and get views or whatever. If we don't get any views, we stop because that's the goal is to try
Right.
to get views. But what if you don't get views? What if you don't record? Do you still do it? This is what I'm saying is when you do this inconspicuous, right? Regardless of what people see, it doesn't change the fact that you're still doing it.
Right.
And the only way for you to be able to do that, right, is to understand who you are supposed to be and be that person. If you're trying to live up to somebody's expectation of you, you are living for them. You are trying to be somebody else, like who you are not, and you're trying to become the image of what people, pick out for you. They form their own image of you, and you trying to live up to that image.
Right.
And so it is very, very depressing. People on social media, it is very depressing. They probably have like complete disaster on a vacation, and they still post like, videos with having. I mean, people goes there and they broke up with their boyfriend, and they still take pictures and go. I mean, to me, I don't care. I don't care about them in terms of what they do and how they do it. I don't care about me doing something and having to show.
Right.
I'm willing to tell you if you ask a question honestly, but I don't. I mean, because like I say, if you're gonna do that activity anyway, regardless of
Right.
what changes outside, then you are doing it for yourself. If you're doing it for yourself, it's inconspicuous. I don't post anything on social media, man. I don't take pictures. If you bring a cake to me, I don't take pictures and show you I'm eating the cake. I'm just eat the cake. I don't enjoy it. I go on my way. I say,
Right.
hey, look at me. I'm so lucky today. I get this piece of cake. Even if I had to do it for some kind of project, I probably forget to take pictures because all I'm thinking about is this delicious piece of cake because that's my priority.
Right. Well, you're consuming your values is what you're doing.
Exactly. So
And that's fine. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Like when you display your values.
you lead your activity with your values, not
Exactly.
with what people think and what's supposed to do. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying is most likely if I had to do a 1 month challenge and to post the things that I like, what are what are good news I have today, whatever, I probably will forget like more than half of the time because
Right.
it's not on my mind. Because that's the thing is it should not have an influence on your activity. If it does, there's something wrong. You are being conspicuous consumption, and that is going to stray you away from your true self, which going to bring you the alignment you want.
Totally. So I wrote in this at the very end of it, I was like, keep consuming your values, but let's shift how we share it with the world, right? So instead of sharing what you do with the world, like I like fitness and health is one of my values, so I go to the gym. So instead of sharing that you go to the gym every day and sharing progress photos of your body or whatever, like only share what that ultimately produced. If that produced you going to help
Well, you share the
other
lesson,
people,
the keys to guide somebody to the next level. You want to
exactly.
share the knowledge that will give them leverage. You
Exactly.
share that. You don't share the result. Hey, look at how fit I am. Look at how fast I can run or whatever. Personally,
I don't care. Like,
I
yeah,
don't
right.
care. It's like if I have a problem, right? So the thing is,
Yo, I'll check out the hook.
even nowadays, right?
You did
There
not
is
get
so
that,
much
did you?
of this going on that it's harder for you to even rely on the information that comes to you through social media. I mean, the thing is, most of these things, is it even true? Are people just
Right.
doing these things for clickbait or for views?
Yeah.
Most of
100.
the videos are for views only.
I mean, they
And so,
literally. I respect people that just straight up do stupid shit for clicks, because it's like Jackass, like the show Jackass or whatever. And I'm like, look, I get it. Actually, the irony of the show Jackass is those people were actually just doing those things already, and somebody decided to film it, and then share it with the world. Like now, people just try to emulate that and do Jackass things for just total, clickbait, I guess.
the thing is, there is a two completely divergent mindset in terms of the conspicuous consumptions and inconspicuous consumptions. When I'm inconspicuous consumptions,
You don't want people to see it.
I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, it's harder for you to put stress on me.
Yeah.
It is very hard. Probably the only way to give me stress is you mess with my core values somehow.
Yeah, I mean, if I straight up told somebody that I was going to go run every single day and I'm going to film it and document it and show you how I feel, there's some days when I'm running where I fucking hate like, how I feel. And I don't feel like my run is good. And if I felt pressure all the time to go
But
out
then
there,
there's anxiety in your head.
right. I mean, I don't want to. I do this for a completely different reason. Nobody sees me. Nobody's around me. I mean, yeah, a few people know that maybe I'm doing that
But the
as
thing
I
is, they
naturally see
know
them.
by seeing you in action, but
Right.
not because you go into some place that they don't, cross paths with and tells them, hey,
Right.
I go to my team today and I tell you people, hey, I'm running blah blah without any reason. You tell because there's a reason. You tell because you need to illustrate a example. You tell because someone asks you. There's a reason why you tell. I'm not saying don't tell, because you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to be
Right.
confident in yourself, right? To do that. So to me, there's neither an extreme. My point is, I post if I want to. I don't post if I don't want to. It has nothing to do with extremity. I don't really care about extremity. I don't really care about anybody's rules or patterns. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
And once you have that, then this is where you have your conspicuous consumptions be
You're
seen as a
inconspicuous.
value.
Right. Yes.
Because
Yeah.
because the thing is, if I go out there and share to you, well, what's my agenda?
It's to show you that this is what's
But
important
that's
to
the
me.
thing is, people is going to.
Actually, what's important to you is really what it is, right? Like, because I mean, it's not important to me. It's not to show the world what's important to me. It's to show the world what's important to them.
But
Right.
even the outside of the layer, it's like it's not even about that. It's not even about what is important to me. It's like if some girl went to some kind of Cancun and have the worst day and still post like happy pictures, right? So is that important to them, or is
I
it
got
important
the
to other people to say they are enjoying
they're
their
there.
life?
I got the best Cancun story. So my wife and I went there. It was a year before the pandemic. It was like a quick Thursday through Sunday. We just wanted to get away for a couple days and go to an all-inclusive. We're sitting on the beach, loving life, drinking as many drinks as we want and eating all the kind of food we want. There's these two maybe 18-year-old girls on the beach in front of us, and we went in like the middle of the winter, and there really wasn't a lot of people at the resort at all. It was only like a handful of people out at the beach kind of thing, and it was nice. But the weather was still really nice, and we were having a good time. So the surf is rolling in. These two girls are eventually we kind of caught our eye and we're like, what the hell are they doing over there? And we're like, oh, they started like, they're like modeling. They're, one of them's taking photos. It looks like a fucking professional photo shoot of two friends that are like shooting, different angles, like on the ground, like looking up, whatever. And we're like, oh my God, they're posting for the gram, and we're my wife and I were just like watching this, while we're drinking our drinks. And I shit you not, this went on for like 4 hours. Like, we were out on the beach. This photo shoot was an all-day photo shoot of themselves, just continually taking new angles and new photos and doing new things and going a little bit out into the water to make it look like they were running in, I was like, this is crazy. I was like, you guys aren't even enjoying the oil.
It makes me feel
and the
tired
capsule.
just to think about it.
Like, and it's like, for what? So you can go post this? You're not even enjoying the ocean or the sand or the sun. You're just taking photos, and like, I mean, of yourself.
You're not even getting paid for it.
Yeah, right. I mean, like,
and you probably
like,
gotta pay some money for those photos.
It's unreal. Have you ever seen you're not on Instagram or anything? I'm not actually on Instagram either, really. No. But there's this like meme of boyfriends of Instagram. Here, I'll just show you. It's funny.
It's a different world out there.
It is just too funny though. So these are pictures of boyfriends taking photos of their girlfriends on Instagram. Like, look at this.
Are you sharing?
Yeah. Oh, you
can't see.
Oh shit.
Share again.
There we go. All right. So dudes hanging off of boats so they could get the perfect shot of their girlfriend floating in the ocean or whatever, or dude on a surfboard, well, this person's doing this. So what boyfriends of Instagram is people take photos of the boyfriends taking photos of the girls, while they're doing stuff. Look at these people, like that girl's in the ocean, just sitting there. This one's getting a perfect shot taken. I mean, like, this is what was going on the beach in Cancun. This was what they did for like 4 hours together.
It's a different world out there, because if I had to take these pictures of my wife, right, she won't be my wife no more.
Look at this guy. Yeah, they had to hold him up with the surfboard so they could take photos of their girlfriends all doing this because, talk about inconspicuous consumption. We surf in the water with my best friends. Anyway, I wanted to show that one for you.
It's unreal. I don't get into those worlds because that's not what I want. And I don't need anyone to give me the kind of mental stress just because they want to be this, or they give me some expectations of how I should live my life or whatever. If you say, hey, I'm a meat eater, I'm killing the world, okay. I don't care. You want to save the world, you save the world. You sacrifice yourself to do it. I ain't doing it.
Could you imagine Stephen King posting a photo every day of writing again today? Yep, writing again, writing again. I'm writing again today, everyone. Hey, here's me at my desk again today because that's what I do every day. Like it would be the most boring Instagram
But that's what
account
I'm
of
saying is, social media is just a new
conspicuous
mass
consumption.
outlet for
Right.
conspicuous consumption. They go into these places because they want to post on Instagram, in social media, whatever. So
Right.
most of the posts on there aren't by chance they got posted.
Right.
I would say maybe there are some, but it's a very, very small numbers versus
Yeah.
the bulk of all the posts and all the other things they spend on themselves are really for conspicuous is on a whole new level.
100%.
It's epic.
If anything, like the original definition of conspicuous consumption of, like that, like
This is on
that's
steroid.
well, who drives anywhere? I'm not like, I mean, I wouldn't even see somebody that's running around with their Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't. How would I know that? I would more likely see somebody that rented a Lamborghini and posted a photo on Instagram and be like, "Yo, check out my Lambo for the weekend." Like that's more likely than just seeing somebody driving around in their Lamborghini cruising around the city, and you're like,
I
"Oh
mean, you
shit."
got people to go walk around, look for a Lambo, and taking pictures in front of somebody else's Lambo.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
No, that's way more likely probably than just actually seeing somebody that owns a Lamborghini driving it out in the wild, and you're like, damn, like, like, when you do see one down the road, you're kind of like, oh, right on, man. Like I get it.
now they have Photoshop where you can just photo themselves into a place. It just, I mean, to me, this is on steroid. I mean,
It is.
the keeping with Jones' age is on steroid. It's on a super information highway.
So I think the point of my reflection was, though, is like Stephen King's a great example. Okay. So Stephen King could post every single day, "Hey guys, I'm writing again today. This is what I love to do, and I'm just showing you all what I do every day." Or you could wait until Stephen King produces his art, which is his book or something like that he decided to create. That share the shit out of with the world, right? Like, because that is the accumulation of your true inconspicuous consumption of your values that you're now just happy to share. So like I am happy to share your magical learning with everybody. I am not happy to share, "Hey, I'm reading this book this week and I'm, doing this today and I'm, going on a run today. Hey guys, I played tennis last night." But what they will care about is someday you and I can show off clubbing.
The thing is, if you care about somebody else caring about what you do, then you're not doing the right thing.
Exactly. Then it's
Because
not
I'm
your
saying
value.
is whatever that I do. Let's say I play games. I don't care if people know I play games. I still play games. So my activity doesn't change regardless of what other external stimuli that are out there. So I'm not playing games so that I can tell people to care about what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. So it's not about not sharing or whatever. To me, is don't care about what people care about what you do. Because
Agreed.
if people tells me, "Hey Chris, you come here and tell me, hey, True, you're an idiot." Everybody out there is working hard, busting their ass, eating the frogs. They rise, grind, repeat. That's how a man should be, right? You are shameful. You're a fucking lazy ass, dumb shit. And I say, okay,
Okay. Thank you.
because it doesn't offend me.
Right.
I'm gonna rise, grind, and repeat, and I'm going to eat the frogs every day, right?
Right.
Because I care about what they care. If I don't care about what they care is, regardless of what you say, I'm still gonna play games. I'm still going to do whatever. For you, you play tennis. For me, I like to code. I like to do crafting, right? Build things. I like to build new things. Whenever I'm getting to a project, the unknowns that I can discover, that drives me. And I do that regardless whether I get paid. People say, "Hey, that's a dumb idea." I still won't change what I do.
Agreed.
And whether I share that or not, it is only relevant when you're doing it to get somebody to care about what you do.
And then that's not a value.
The activity you're doing isn't aligning with you. You're aligning with somebody else's idea of a value.
That's not, well, it is a value. It's not your core values.
It's not your value.
Yeah, right.
It's not my value to me.
The girls and the guys and the boyfriends of Instagram that I was just showing you, like their value is not travel and spending time with each other if they're doing that, right? Their value is making sure that everybody knows.
But the thing is, if you think about it, if your wife goes to the beach, right? Your wife goes to the beach and she tells you to take pictures of all the angles and she posts on social media for people to see in her bikini, in her sexy clothes. What do you think?
I'm like, yeah, I got a hot wife. Like, I don't care. I mean, but like, that's up to her, really.
But
If
no, no,
she
no,
wants
no,
to.
no, 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 no. If people see her that she have a hot wife, it is a great honor for you.
Right.
But if she posts it to get views from other guys,
Oh, yeah.
then it's not an honor to you that she does that because she wants other guys to see her.
Yeah, no, that's a
So,
good point.
that's a
Yeah.
big, big different
Yeah.
mindset.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. Like whenever we travel, I take a ton of photos, but like I only show them with like
You
my
don't have them.
sister,
You keep them
and
for memories. I'm not
right,
saying don't
exactly.
take. I mean, like I say, I'm not going to be that person and go to the extremes. Hey, I'm the person who take photos of everything, or the person that doesn't do anything.
Right.
The thing is, I do because I
It's
want to.
balance. Right.
I am in the driver's seat. This is one of the reflection we had before, right? It's about you driving, right, versus somebody else is driving.
Yeah.
So
No,
whatever you
dopamine,
do,
dope. That was the molecule of more like who's at the wheel. I think was
exactly to be at the wheel. So the thing is, when you're at the wheel, the space between stimulus and response, well, that's your only power. You cannot really say, okay, I'm going to give away that power. I'm not saying I'm not going to take any or I'm not going to take all. I'm saying I'll take it when I want to. I decide. That's my point. And when you decide how you decide is based on who you want to be and how you want to act and what kind of activity you want to get involved in.
Agreed. And so, I mean, I think summing up my final thoughts on this one is consume your values. Like that's important, but consume them for yourself and not for others, and only share what those values produced in accumulation, not what it did individually on a day-to-day basis. Like that's my lesson that I want to take out of this is consume your values, and then it's okay to share your values you consumed only when it is a finished piece of art that is a whole lot of other things that went into that finished piece of art from a byproduct of consuming your values. I'm totally okay with that. And that is actually what we should do because that's the purpose of
You
living a
want to
purpose-driven
share.
life.
You want to share because there are certain benefits to sharing. Because for one, you and I share a lot of things together.
Yeah.
And there is a reason
We're
we
sharing right
share
now.
because the reason for me is to understand the concept further, to explain, to have a bumper sticker to say, hey, I don't want to portray, inconspicuous consumption, right? This sticks in my head, and this discussion give me a memory palace for me to say, how do I become this person? How do I live this lesson? And what lesson comes, what benefit that the lesson comes with? To me, the lesson comes with a great value because the value is having peace from mind. Meaning, like I say, for the most of my days, right, I don't really care what's going on. I mean, that means that you can't really stress me out.
Right.
Not easily. You can't stress me out that easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I just don't really care about the things I don't care about. You can, push the right button and get me to get riled up, but you have to find the right buttons. Everything else, I don't care.
Agreed. No, I think this was I love the idea of inconspicuous consumption.
That should be a bumper sticker that we need to add.
Is your inconspicuous consumption inconspicuous?
Yes.
Is that what you want? What is your truism you want me to share?
Conspicuously and conspicuously. Conspicuously consume inconspicuously.
Conspicuously consuming inconspicuously? Is that what you said?
Yes. We'll see if that sticks.
Yeah, I think anybody that would read that, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But hey, that's the point. All right, so I just saved it, sent it to you. Awesome. All right, well, that's a good wrap for the night. So the question we can leave for everybody is, how do you share your inconspicuous consumption with the world? Is it by focusing on what you do and sharing what you're doing every day, or what you produced?
Consume inconspicuously. Because the thing is, you got to understand what that means, right? Because you say, well, that guy did a lot of stuff for himself. That's all they know.
Yeah.
That's all they know, that, hey, I could, this guy is about doing things for himself. They don't know what you did. They just how they did this.
The most interesting man in the world. You remember those commercials, those Dos Equis commercials? Like that's what I imagine as somebody that truly lives their values every single day. You shouldn't know it. The only thing you should know is when you accidentally run into them and you're like, oh yeah, I wrote like 4 books, did this, and you run into them and you're just like, man, you've been really busy lately. It's been a decade. In the past decade, I've traveled, I boated around the world and stopped off. I've been some places.
The only thing they know is you've been some places. That means
Right,
that
right.
you are conspicuously consuming inconspicuously.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so it's like that's like when I think of it as like the most interesting man in the world, right? Where you're like, like that's the ideal because he's only the most interesting man in the world because layers keep getting peeled back if you ask questions when you're in his presence, and you're like, oh shit,
Exactly.
like, that's insane. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. Well, yeah. Why would you know any of that stuff? Like what? Like unless you're doing it with me, or unless
Because
you've
if
been on this
everything is out
podcast
in the
and recorded,
open, what's
right?
interesting about it?
Nothing. I have to reveal these things as you go, right? So it's the
Yep.
most interesting man in the world. There you go. That maybe that should have been the title. Yeah. So all right, that's a good place to wrap for the night, and we'll see you all on Monday.